2025 Public Forum for Township, Austintown Township. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Santos?
Here.
Mr. Shepherd?
Present.
Mrs. Deaver? Here.
Well, hello everyone. It's impressive. I'm going to do a little bit of an introduction here. So to my far left, Laura Wolf, she's our fiscal officer. And to the right here is our township administrator, Mark Diapolito. Hiding behind him for the bids, she wasn't expecting this. It's Therese. Therese, can you stand up and say a few words? Teresa.
Welcome.
Thank you, Teresa. Then we have our new zoning in-training official, Dawn Molchen. The something else, Darren Crivelli. I'm going to skip the police department for now. And we have our fire chief. He's, if you guys don't know, he replaced Andy Frost. This is David Scherzer. I'm taking the opportunity since everybody's here. So glad to have him on board still for quite some time, I would imagine. Our park supervisor, Todd Schaefer. And our senior center department head, Jim Henshaw. To my left, we have Township Trustee Monica Devers. To my right, Township Trustee Robert Santos. And I'm your Chairman, Trustee Bruce Shepard. Thank you all for coming tonight. We're going to do a little switch up here in the agenda. As you can see, we had the fair housing presentation from Anna. She's going to speak right after we do the oath of office given to our new police chief. Please stand up, and if you would, come down front. Whatever you want, Valerie. This is your big moment. So for those of you that don't know, Valerie Delmont, Lieutenant, was recently selected to be our next Township Police Chief. And she's going to get the oath of office here from our fiscal officer. And then afterwards, she'll say a few words.
Raise your right hand. I, Valerie Delmont,
I, Valerie Delmont,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and will faithfully discharge the duties
and will faithfully discharge the duties
of the Chief of Police
of the Chief of Police
of Austintown Township, Mahoning County,
of Austintown Township, Mahoning County,
State of Ohio,
State of Ohio,
during my continuance in office.
during my continuance in office.
Who's this guy?
This is my husband, Brian Delmont, my father, Richard Homan, my mother, Kathy Homan, my son, Ryder Delmont, my in-laws, Sue and Sonny, and my sister, Lisa, my nieces, Micah, Edda, Taylor, Madison, Lila, my brother, Travis, and his wife, Leanne.
Is there anybody here not related? Gino?
Not related, long time friend.
Good.
I would just like to say that I am honored to have this opportunity to serve not only the police department, but also Austintown community. I promise to always do my best and to try my hardest, and I will not disappoint you. I'd like to thank my family for their support and for everything that they have sacrificed and done for me to give me this opportunity, and I appreciate it, and I promise I will not let you down.
It's up to you. It's up to you.
We'll make it short.
Whatever you want.
Yeah, take her long.
While we're here, we'll do it right now.
Take her 5 minutes.
Okay. So what we're gonna do is take a 5-minute recess. We're gonna let the chief take some photos with their co-workers and family and us. And then after that, if you guys want to stick around for this exciting meeting tonight, you're more than welcome to. Robert's gonna stand up afterwards. It's a good time. If not, you're more than welcome to leave afterwards. And we'll recess for that. So, in recess, thank you. So we'll call the meeting back into session at this time. Fair housing presentation from Miss Anna DeSantis. Is that right?
Yep.
Italian.
Thank you. Nice. Yep.
Who'd you bring with you?
Well, I have two of my bosses here this evening. I have Gino DeFabio and Anthony Traficani. They didn't leave with the rest of the crowd, so I guess I'm still in good standing. It works.
Yeah, so tell us why you're here.
All right. Well, thank you all so much for kind of rescheduling that. Oh,
Well, thank you for letting us reschedule you a little bit.
yeah, no problem. I kept asking people at the door, what is going on? Thank you so much. My name's Anna DeSantis. I work for the County Commissioner's Office and the Director of Grants Management. And one of the grants that we have is a Community Development Block Grant. And one of the requirements of that grant is to assign a fair housing coordinator to Mahoning County. We are Mahoning County outside of the city of Youngstown. I am the fair housing coordinator. So Austintown to Struthers or Camel would call my office. I brought some giveaways, my name, phone number, and everything's up there, and more of a description about the fair housing program. Austintown is also a recipient this year of the Community Development Block Grant. They are going to improve the sidewalks in Wycliffe neighborhood, but we are going to implement that project next year because we're running into an environmental problem, so we gotta wait 1 year to do that. So that is another reason why I'm in Austintown Township, to talk about fair housing. So fair housing was initiated under Title VIII of the Civil Rights Act of 1968, and it was shortened into fair housing. It made it unlawful to discriminate in any aspect relating to the sale, rental, or loan, or mortgage funding of financing dwellings, housing. Cannot be discriminated against based on the race, color, national origin, religion, sex, familial status, and disability. Ohio also includes ancestry and military status. A housing choice is impeded when actions, omissions, or decisions are taken to restrict a person's choice. For example, where certain residential dwellings are not made available to persons because of the race, color, national origin, and the other protected classes I mentioned previously. Another example is it would be prohibited in the sale of rental housing, which would be to set different terms, conditions, or privileges for different people based on their protected class, or falsely deny that housing is available to somebody. In mortgage lending, it is prohibited to fail to provide information to the client regarding loan availability, and also discriminate in appraising properties. So regarding the disability aspect of fair housing, your landlord may not refuse to allow you to make reasonable accommodations with your own money. And if you're living in a federally subsidized unit, the federal government may have to pay to make those accommodations for the disabled to live in that home. A landlord may not refuse to make these reasonable accommodations to the property itself. They need to allow you to pay, but they also cannot set different rules, policies, and practices that would limit your ability to participate in your housing the same as a non-disabled person would participate in the housing at the property. I am the complaint and intake person for fair housing. I've been in this role for about 15 years now or more, so. So if you would call and say, my landlord, he's evicting me because I can't pay my rent. Well, that is not because you're in a protected class, that's because you couldn't pay your rent. Now, if he makes a slur or something to the effect, well, you gotta go, you're not paying your rent, and say because you're disabled or something, then we have a fair housing incident, and I would help you fill out the paperwork in order to provide your claim and charge to the Ohio Civil Rights Commission. And our regional office is in Akron. We have an analysis of impediments. It's a 5-year plan, so we'll be working on some accessibility and affordability issues throughout Mahoning County, meeting with zoning departments and special needs populations to see, kind of equate the number of housing that's available. Real big right now is finding out how much housing is available, who can afford it, where's it at, what do we need more of. So it would just be along those same lines, but it is specifically for the Ohio Department of Development, Community Development Block Grant, and the Commissioner's Office. That's all I have today. Please take a pen and pad and paper and put it by your phone.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
So at this time is where we offer public comments. You can come up to our podium. You'll state your full name and your address before speaking, and you'll have up to 3 minutes. Would anybody like to make public comments? Please.
Come on, guys.
We don't have a place. We're from the Austintown Eagles.
Yeah.
The Austintown Eagles would like to donate some money to the fire department and the police department tonight.
That's fantastic.
This is our trustees, Lou and Terry,
Hey, Terry, come on.
and Bobby Marshall's the president.
Hi, Lou. Go ahead.
Police department and the fire.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. All right.
One thing, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Bobby, anything to say?
Congratulations to both departments. And I know there's going to be budget cuts, and so hopefully, in a small way, we could help the police and the fire, and help our community, because you really help us out a lot. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I'm going to donate $5,000 apiece to the police department and the fire department. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. You got the big shoe, dude. I grew up with old Bobby.
Well, that was a pleasant surprise. Thank you.
Yep.
I was just at the Eagles the other day, a couple weeks ago, for a fundraiser.
Yeah. Stop on down, check us out.
Hey, anybody want to join, stop on in. We got a good hall rental, all that stuff.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Paul does.
That's probably the other thing.
Thank you, commissioners. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, of course, Mr. Russo. I tried to get
Bypass, you have to pick up that.
everything okay?
John Russo, Pembroke Road, Austintown. And I have two issues. One is I'd like the road sign at the top of my street replaced. Pembroke, the corner of Pembroke and Raccoon, it says P, no E, then an M and no B, and then a Brook. So, I mean, I guess it needs to be a green sign. And my next issue, I don't know if you can do anything about it or even bring it up. But when you're in session and when you bring these new businesses and stuff in Austintown, could you request that they put trash bins outside their businesses for people so that we can maybe eliminate some of the trash down these side streets like mine? I mean, I'm out there picking up buckets full of trash constantly. And it's also in all the ones around the which area there. And you go to these places and you see there's no trash cans. You go to walk in the door, if you did have trash, you can't even take it with you because there's nowhere to dump it. So if it could be a recommendation from you guys that people, or businesses, I know it's a lot of hassle for them to have to dump them and whatnot, but maybe it'll eliminate some of the trash in the township. That's all.
Sir,
Yes.
you're right. Most of the fast food restaurants here now, and maybe before I leave, maybe it'd be a good exercise for Dominic, maybe amend the ordinance, come up with some formula that, because I think the fast food restaurants should have them. If you want to eat in your car, listen to radio, and then throw your trash out.
No, everything.
You can't,
You
yeah.
go and you play the lottery and they're good, you won't forget something on the ground. Or you
Well,
get, I mean,
We'll try to address that.
I don't know.
Some of them got rid of Dunkin' Donuts, you said.
I
they got
yeah,
rid of it.
I know.
Remember the ones that used to have the scoop that you couldn't drive through? Yeah.
Anyone else? You sir in the back, hat on, raise your hand? No? All right, the administrator's report, please.
All right, before we get into the bids, we have a sizable resurfacing contract coming up this year. Before we get there, a couple reminders. The road department will begin the cemetery cleanup on March 15th. So if you have anything in the cemeteries left over from the holidays or that doesn't meet the rules, please pick it up before the 15th because they're going to dispose of anything that doesn't meet the rules, because they're going to be out there, shortly thereafter cutting grass and weed whacking and supporting to get those cleaned up. So again, that date's March 15th. Please share that with anyone that's not at the meeting. It'd be a good thing to get out there. And then they will begin striping for the Myers traffic light the second half of this week if weather permits. These will be temporary pavement markings. They will be back to do it when the weather permits with the standard thermal marking that the county requires. On this one, I'm just sharing the information. It's Myers' responsibility to pay for the striping, install the striping, and it's all has to meet the county standards. So I'm doing nothing more than saying that light is likely to be active in about a month, give or take. So just be cognizant of that when you're driving up the highway. Then the next item I have, again, here, the township is sort of a pass-through as it comes to electric. I know that some of the other local townships have been in the news for the increasing electric rates. Ours is coming up in about a month, and they our broker is seeing rates of 0.91 per kilowatt hour right now. So that's just about doubling our existing rate. The township has very little ability to control it. It's like buying into the stock market. But they are out there trying to find the best rate. If you go to apples to apples on the DUCO website, you can probably do better yourself. But that might be for a 3-month term or a 2-month term, and then you might have different fees and different things. So it's not all about the rate. If you have a lot of time and the ability to shop, I encourage you to take a look. If you are looking for something that is generally stable and consistent, stick with the township program. It's still significantly less than where they are forecasting the default rate to go. Ohio is its default rate. They're thinking that might be at 0.13. If that holds true, then we have substantial savings. But that rate's not going to change probably until midsummer. So it's a little bit of a gamble, but definitely encourage you to check out your options. With that, I'd like to request a motion to authorize the township administrator to execute any and all necessary agreements to proceed with the electrical aggregation program, utilizing our broker, Independent Energy Consultants.
So moved.
Second. Mr. Shepherd?
Yes.
Mrs. Devers? Yes. Mr. Santo?
Yes.
Sorry, that didn't make the agenda because I got it at 2:30 this afternoon morning.
That's okay, I'm trying to figure out what to write here.
That concludes my report. So once Laura's done writing, we'll move into the bids.
All right.
I went out there, I'll get a break. I'll give you Rob, William, Kyle. There's 9 in order.
Give me scissors.
I will say, again, this year, thanks to the Mahoney County Commissioners' sales tax program, we are able to do a historically large project and expect to be doing around 6 miles of paving. So we are here opening bids for the Wycliffe, Nottingham, Woodhurst, etc. street resurfacing program. We also received an Ohio Public Works grant for about $224,000.
That grant is up to renewal, isn't it?
Yes, that will be on your primary. I encourage everybody to vote in the primary this year. The program that helps fund resurfacing will be on there. It's a statewide issue. So our first bid is from Shelley and Sands in the amount of $1,269,999.15. I've received the bid bond, as well as the bid guarantee, and the listing of subcontractors. So all bonding requirements are facially present. Our next bid is from Carrilla Contractors in the amount of $1,419,480.
So exciting.
Did we get all the contractors?
What?
I see one in the back. There was a couple.
I went out in the parking lot and took a walk in it. It's not on remaining. Okay, bid guarantee. And I received the bid guarantee and the contract bond. Sorry for the suspense. It's a few pages off the tab, but it's there.
Calm down, guys.
The next one is the Shelley Company in the amount of $1,349,822. And they have submitted a bid guarantee, and all bidding documents are facially present. Next bid is from R.T. Vernal in the amount of $1,289,647. The bid bond is present and facially compliant. The next bid is from Lindy Paving in the amount of $1,270,710.20.
What was that number again? I'm sorry. 1,000,002.
$1,270,710.20.
Thank you.
The bid bond is present and facially compliant. The next bid is from Barbicus Construction in the amount of $1,390,411.50.
I'm sorry, Mark, who gave that bid?
Barbicus, B-A-R-B,
Barbicus.
Barbicus. Thank you.
Thank you.
The bid bond is present and facially compliant. The next bidder is Geauga Highway in the amount of $1,479,018.45. And I have received a surety bond, and it appears to be facially compliant. Is that last one? Yes. All right, and our final bid is from Carvel in the amount of $1,386,975. And we did receive a bid bond guarantee that appears facially compliant. And that concludes our bids for this evening. Just so everyone knows what happens at this point, these are forwarded to our engineer, retained on the project, Dave Backlar. He will review them and make a recommendation to the board for the lowest and best contractor based on a litany of experience. Presently, the only thing that's considered public record until the award are the bonds and the amounts and the plans themselves. So individual bidder tabs won't be released at this time. Those will be released after the award. Any questions from our contractors or contractor in the room?
You're good.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
All right,
Moving on, Mark?
moving on.
All right. So we're going to skip Darren and go to our, I don't know why it's that, why do we do that, Teresa? Oh, sorry, go ahead, Mark. I feel like it's not in order. All right, Darren, go ahead.
Keep
them all in tow.
8 years.
I can change it.
I would ask the board to approve the nuisance budget on Ohio Vice Code 555.87, just 4 properties.
I see 4, but I also see on the third page you have 1, 2, 3, 4 as well.
Those are where the letters are going.
Okay.
So moved.
Second.
Mrs. Devers? Yes. Mr. Santos?
Yes.
Mr. Shepherd?
Yes.
Okay, then I would ask the board to approve a motion on following motor vehicle meets all the following criteria. 3 model years or older, apparently inoperable and essentially damaged, including positive the following: missing wheels, tires, engine, or transmission, and clear following vehicle. Public nuisance under Ohio Vice Code 555.871. An order removal of junk vehicle within 14 days after notice is served to the property owner. And this is 4689 Woodhurst Drive, Unit 1, an inoperable 2008 Mazda with expired temporary tag, flat tire, parked in exposed manner in the parking lot at the south side of the street. And if the board is familiar with Woodhurst and the apartments, there are those like parking spaces right off the road. Some of them have 4 or 5. There might be up to 8 or 10. There's like 3 different ones. The vehicle's in there. It's partly on private property, partly in public right of way. But the owner of the vehicle is in that particular unit. And they received a letter from us a couple of weeks ago, obviously.
So moved.
Mr. Santos?
Yes.
Mr. Shepherd?
Yes.
Mrs. Devers? Yes.
Can I just ask you a second?
Come on.
And I just want to just advise the board and the residents of one thing, follow up on what Mark said with the aggregates. Our office issued a transient vendor permit for an individual to canvass, and actually there's 2 of them. There's a young lady who's been canvassing the township for a couple of years, and she lives on Berkeley. But we do issue permits after we do a brief background check, and they can canvass to try to sign you up for electric or gas. You are not obligated to show them your bills. They do not work for the township. If you want to interact with them and talk with them and listen to what they say, that's America. That's your right. But they do not work for the township, and like I said, you're not obligated to show them your utility bills. You can if you want. If you sign up with them and then you find out you don't like what you signed, you can't call zoning, you can yell at zoning. But just an FYI, we'll see more of it. But right now, there's 2 permits out. I know the young lady from Berkeley, she's very professional. We've never had problems with her. But sometimes people are from out of town, and if they go through the process, we have to give them a permit. And once again, we tell them they canvass during daylight hours, they need to be polite, and no means no. When somebody says no, just say thank you. Any problems, call PD. Sorry, pal.
Is there a segue? Thank you, Darren. Chief Delmont? Or what? It's not me.
Excuse me just a second. And I'll just use this opportunity. Once we issue a permit, we then email it to dispatch, so dispatch has a copy of it.
Question? I don't want to be out of order. I'm just
Excuse me.
Yes.
Please, stand up and say your name and your address. Thank you.
Lola Simmons, 5346 West Webb Road, Austintown, Ohio. And I'm sorry about that.
No, you're good. Thank you.
My question, you said you issued some transient permits. Will they be canvassing in our neighborhoods?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, there's basically two types of transients. There's people with food trailers who set up shop in a commercial parking lot, and then people who go door to door. And the people who go door to door are mostly involved with utility aggregates or either yard cleanups or a lot of times windows and siding and roofing people. Last year we did, I think, 39 vendor permits. And I would say probably 2/3 of those were door to door. But if someone knocks on your door, they should have that permit. And like I said, we email the dispatch, so dispatch has it. If they get a call, they can check right away if that person has a permit or not. Even if you have a permit, you can't be moved. We had a problem with that last year. Anyways, that's the process.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Darren, what if a resident has a no soliciting sign hanging up?
Yeah, if you have a no soliciting sign, they should not solicit. There's a section of Ohio code. If they do have a no soliciting sign and you call the police, and most likely you're going to just call the police because they're rude, it's the officer's discretion, but the officer can effectuate an arrest. Yeah, and then this does not cover nonprofits or religious organizations. Candidates knocking on your door, it doesn't cover that. This is just commercial activity.
Sure. Well, thank you. Chief Delmont, police matters?
Last month, the month of February, we had 1,361 calls for service, 164 reports, we had 44 arrests, 252 traffic stops, and 45 traffic accidents. There's a breakdown further of reports, but I don't know that it's necessary to go into all of those. The only other thing we have coming up is drug take back, which will be for the public to drop off drugs. That will be on April 26th, and more information come out on that and some flyers, but it's basically where you the police department can drop off overused or unwanted drugs.
Do you think we're seeing an uptick in calls, or is this pretty much standard?
Yeah, this is pretty standard, especially for this time of year.
Okay.
Uptick will come whenever it gets a little bit warmer out.
Thank you. Chief Schertzer? What's the way motion? All right, I'll make a motion to approve the memorandum of understanding between the Board of Trustees of Austintown Township and Valerie Delmont.
So moved.
Second. Mr. Santos?
Yes.
Mr. Shepherd?
Yes.
Mrs. Devers? Yes.
Chief Schertzer?
Yeah, 1,300 some calls, my 402 doesn't sound very good. It's actually up from last year, we had 388 for February. We had total 402 calls for February, of which 9 of them were fires, 262 were rescue and emergency medical service incidents, and 58 service calls, and 20 false alarms, and 36 good intent calls. Those are the meat and potatoes of the call for February. So it was a pretty busy month, but not too far out of the round. Let's see, I'm going to go back to just get around.
Call motion.
Yeah, I got a couple motions. Okay, motion number one, I'd like to make a motion to approve the hiring of Michael McNally as a part-time firefighter, probationary, conditional on passing his pre-employment testing.
So moved.
Second. Mr. Shepherd?
Yes.
Mrs. Devers?
Yes.
Mr. Sanchez?
Yes.
Motion number 2, motion to approve the hiring of Leslie Les Horvath as a part-time firefighter, conditional upon passing his pre-employment testing as a probationary part-time firefighter.
So moved.
Second.
Mrs. Devers?
Yes.
Mr. Sanchez?
Yes.
Mr. Shepherd?
Yes.
And number 3, motion to accept the resignation letter from part-time firefighter EMT Daryl Devine effective February 28, 2025.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Sanchez?
Yes.
Mr. Shepherd?
Yes.
Mrs. Devers?
Yes.
Mr. Schaefer, Parks?
I don't have a lot this month. Just want to remind everybody, I'm getting a lot of complaints already about unleashed dogs in the park. You got to keep your dogs on a leash unless they're in the dog park. That is the only place you are allowed to unleash your dog. And of course, state law states that you have to pick up after your dog in the dog park and outside the dog park. That's all I have this month.
Thank you.
Did something happen this weekend?
Oh,
Really big?
Yes, sorry. We had our first disc golf tournament was this past weekend on Saturday out on our disc golf course. They call it the Winter Open. They had 98 players participate, and this is the first of 4 tournaments at our park this coming year. Each time they come up with a different tournament, they go around and ask the area players where they would like the tournament held, and it still seems like our park is the favorite in the area. So they, last year we had 3 tournaments. This year there's already 4 tournaments scheduled.
Surprised when I first heard about disc golf. I'm like, okay, really? Then I went last year, then this year. It's like they have a crowd. Don't even give me your food. I can't.
Right, they're growing every year, and again, we seem to be the favorite. We try to stay up on the new technologies that they put out on the courses. Like last year, they had I don't know how to do all this stuff, but you take your phone and you scan that QR code thing, yeah, thanks. And it shows you the layout of that hole, and so we put those in a year and a half ago. Nobody else has those yet. So as long as we stay ahead of technology and everybody else, we'll continue to be the favorite in the area.
Great. Mr. Henshaw, our senior center?
Okay, got a couple things. Some really good news. Due to the extremely great effort of Jessica Rickers, for the past almost 3 years she's been working on this project. We had our inspection for accreditation by the Ohio Association of Senior Centers. We passed it. The only thing remaining on that is for the OASC board to approve it, which will be taking place next week after next at their meeting. There are, according to Jessica, nearly 500 senior centers in the state of Ohio. 7 of them are accredited. We're number 8. So it's a really big thing that has happened for our senior center, is to get that done. And I do have a couple things that came back from the council meeting today. That one is they recommended that we get speed bumps put into our parking lot because the traffic that's going through there too fast. The speed bumps on the far side where the progressive people are, nobody goes that way because there's speed bumps there. So the school bus and the people going back to the daycare, so they shoot through our parking lot. And our people don't move all that fast anymore. So we're asking if we can consider looking into that. And the last item I'll take up with Mark, they were making a modification to our membership application to add a statement that we will not sell anybody's personal information to outside sources because apparently that's becoming a thing. So So I'll give it to Mark, he can review it, and we'll put that in. It's not a big deal, it's just something. Actually, it was a recommendation from the OASC inspectors to deliver there and put that in there. And that's all.
Good. Ms. Wolf, fiscal?
Okay, besides my report, my monthly report, I finished up the financial reports for 2024. Those are submitted to the state. And I just have some highlights here I want to go over. Don't normally do this, but I don't know, it's very interesting, and I think people need to be aware of what's actually going on. The general fund ended 2024 with $2.2 million. And in the course of the year, we transferred out of the general fund $868,000. $688,000 of that went to police, $94,000 went to park, and $15,000 went to our maintenance department, which maintenance is kind of just an inner fund that all of the funds in the township contribute to that fund, but the general fund seemed to have to transfer a little bit more. Police started 2024 with $222,000 in cash. They ended 2024 with $422, and that's after having received the $688 in transfers. Their total expenditures were $7,026,000, and if the police continue to spend according to this schedule, general fund will be under $1 million by the end of 2025, and possibly at zero by 2026. So what we're going to do, we're going to work on reducing expenditures so that the township continue to run and provide the services residents depend on. The fire department started 2024 with $314,000 in cash. They ended 2024 with $313,000 in cash. Their total expenditures were $5,324,000. So as long as they can stay within the range and not go up too much, they're going to be okay for a little while yet. But again, you know, they just had a levy. We need to stay within the levy to get us out there a while longer. Park started 2024 with $2,400 in cash. They ended 2024 with $1,300 in cash, and they received $94,000 in transfers. Total expenditures were $505,000. The park department has generally been into the general fund, but that's just because of the older levy and the amount of money that it's set to bring in. We did last year have $287,000 in cash in the American Rescue Plan, and at the end of 23, then we received another $500,000 in 24, and all of that was spent by the end of 2024. So this balance is zero. This money was used by the police, fire, and dispatch funds. So they all got part of that. But keep in mind, if the police got part of that and got transferred in, you know, like we really are cutting it close. We really do need to figure that out. And also the county sales tax monies we received from Mahoney County Commissioners, that helped us with road projects last year. That's how we were able to get a little bit more done the last couple years, along with the rescue plan, you know, taking care of some of the police and fire expenses. So that's just kind of like a quick overview, but those were the big highlights I came across as I was looking at the reports. So this month, we're gonna put together the budget, the final budget with the permanent appropriations, and hopefully the outlook that I initially figured for the end of 2025 doesn't come to fruition, and we have a better outlook, and we can kind of take control of things and keep the township running smooth.
Thank you.
That's my news.
Yeah. Not all good.
Not all bad, but
All right, so we need some motions. Where we at?
just one for all of my other stuff.
So a motion to accept February report submitted to the board for review, 1A through 2.
So moved.
Mr. Shepherd?
Yes.
Mrs. Devers?
Yes.
Mr. Santos?
Yes.
So we got some new business to talk about.
Yes, this is a motion to appoint 2 candidates to the Mahoning County's Tax Incentive Review Commission Council to attend the meeting on March 13th at 2 p.m. The location is to be determined. This is a function of the county auditor. They just request that we send 2 representatives from the township to review those businesses receiving tax incentive financing in the township, which is economic development.
Sure. We'll discuss that later on.
Yeah, and we can discuss it a point later.
Sure.
So motion to table that for the time being.
All right, so we'll motion to table the new business A.
So moved.
Second.
Mrs. Devers?
Yes.
Mr. Stantos?
Yes.
Mr. Shepherd?
Yes. Board members, any remarks? Stevers?
I'd just like to congratulate Valerie Delmont again. We look forward to you running our town and your impact on your leadership, and we're confidence in you and happy to have you a part of the township. Also, I want to congratulate the girls wrestling team for making history in winning their first ever district champions. Finished first out of 92 teams. They will be going to state, so I'd like to congratulate them. That's about it. Congratulations again, Valerie.
All right, ditto. Congratulations, Chief. It's definitely well deserved. You're going to do awesome, and you're going to love us and then hate us. So, definitely, if you guys weren't there this weekend, those ladies did a phenomenal job at the wrestling tournament. It was like, it's awesome. It definitely goes. So this weekend they have the actual state champion. We actually have an individual in Austintown who's 99% guaranteed to win according to the statistics, whoever does the statistics. So that'll be definitely an interesting thing to see. These girls need to keep it up, and I don't know what's going on with the men in Austintown. What's going on? Ohio celebrated its 222nd birthday on the 1st of March, so happy birthday, Ohio. I guess you guys see the news as well in regards to this whole marijuana tax that's allegedly being taken away, so I want to give you guys an update on it. There's 2 ways the state is currently trying to take the money away. If you guys don't know, we, the board, said yes to a dispensary because of the 36% of the 10% that's added on recreational marijuana that we were guaranteed. That was one of the huge criteria for all 3 of us saying yes. So there's 2 versions the state was trying to take it away. Senate Bill 56 and the operating budget, which is House Bill 96. I'm proud to say, because of the county commissioners, because of the board of trustees, and everyone else within the county, we got even Niles from Trumbull County, City of Struthers, the City of Niles, we were able to talk all the legislators in the Senate to keep that language in Senate Bill 56. So we're covered there. So Senate Bill 56 says that we still get our money. However, you know how legislators work. They try to sneak it in every back door they possibly can. House Bill 96 is the operating budget. They're still trying to take that money away. But we, the board, are advocating tremendously for each and every single one of you to have that funding. I actually went down last week, Wednesday, and testified the first time. It's actually kind of weird. Apparently when they ask the question, you gotta say through the chair to the representative. It's a tongue twister, so for someone with a New England accent, it was kind of difficult. But I'll be going down there again this Wednesday. If anyone wants to come to, it's definitely an experience to have fun. This is not something that only legislators or trustees are allowed to go and testify. If you as a resident want to speak to your legislators in these hearings and voice your concerns, you're allowed to, just like these meetings here. There's a different formality to it, but you're allowed to. So never think that you're not below that. You know, we're all Americans. We're all Austintown. We're all Mahoning County. So I urge you guys, send them letters, send them phone calls, bug the hell out of them. Be more persistent than me actually talking. But we'll do our very best to advocate for it. Definitely I know Dave Yeoman left, but Chief, thank you. Even the FOP wrote a letter. I definitely appreciate that. Any support we can. to let our legislators know that we will guarantee these fundings. Don't take it away. Sorry, I'm going to go a little over. She's talking about budget, a little background. Townships are the most underfunded and most restricted. The primary funds that we have is like 90% is through property tax. So when there's a funding opportunity that we can grab that's not you, the residents, we're gonna grab, we're gonna kick, we're gonna scream. We're gonna be that 4-year-old child in a candy store, bugging the living crap, excuse my language, to our legislators, let them know that we're not gonna tolerate it, and they need to figure something out to help alleviate the burden that you, the resident, have. So if you guys wanna come, if you wanna participate, if you wanna help, even if it's a phone call, don't let any one of us three know. We'd be happy to direct you the way you need to go there. Voice your opinions. So, sorry. Went on a little bit.
You're good.
Thank you.
Yeah. So a couple things. One, our Austintown Fitch cheerleaders won state. That's pretty impressive. Is that their second time?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I wasn't sure. I thought it was their second time. So congratulations to them. I want to thank the Austintown Junior Women's League. They had their annual Taste of Austintown this past weekend, and I've attended it since the existence of it. It's one of my favorite events, mostly because it includes food. So they do such a good job in our community with all their support and donating to different organizations. I'd like to thank them. And Monica's a member there. And to Chief Delmont, I was so impressed and so happy to see so many officers from our department and retirees here tonight. The retirees speak volume. I get why the young guys might want to come, and the current officers, but when you bring back older retirees, that kind of says a lot. It holds a lot of weight with me anyway. And then I know you're coming in during tough times. And so are we right now too as well, right? So join the club. There's going to be some budget, restraints that you're going to have. That we're all going to have challenges, and we're going to be there with you, and we'll make those decisions together in the best interests of our community, and our township, doing the best we can to maintain the services that we have been providing as long as I can remember. So congratulations, and I'm looking forward to working you on a more personal level. I really appreciate everything you've done to get to this point. And I'd like to thank the board for joining me and selecting me. That's all I got.
And before you close out, let me,
Oh, God.
once again, the board is to be commended because I think promoting from within is very important. It sends a message to young officers, young firefighters, road guys. It sends a message to everybody. If you come to Austintown, you work hard, you get the experience, the training, there's room for upward mobility. And by promoting within, we're going to see more upward mobility here in the next few months. And I think it's very important. There's good reasons to bring people in from the outside, especially if you have a lot of problems. But I think our safety services are run so well that it runs well because of the people below the chiefs. And it's good to see promotion from within. I think that's very important. And that's one thing I want to say on my way out is that promoting from within, I think, is very important. And I appreciate the fact that we have two new chiefs who've been here for years, decades. I think that's good for the residents. And I'm done now.
Thank you. Yes.
After you guys make your last motion here, I think we're going to step away for 5 minutes and take a short bathroom break, and then if the media wants to stick around and talk to trustees or Val, we're happy to be available for that, but we just take a moment before we begin this. Thank you.
Okay. So I'll make a motion to recess to executive session.
So moved.
Mr. Shepherd?
Yes.
Mrs. Deaver? Mr. Sanchez?
Yes.
And we are adjourned.